What's happening? Andy here. I'm joined today by Steve Berger of Ricoh. How are you, Steve?
Hey, Andy, what's going on?
What's
How you
happening? Good
doing?
to see you. Had you on several months ago at this point. It seems like time's standing still, but it's just racing right ahead.
Sure.
I feel like just yesterday you were here. So you're catching up. You're in New Jersey. It looks a little snowy there. Is it snowy? What's it like? Where are you? Where are
Well,
you at?
no, we're in a very festive mood. We have some holiday background here to celebrate the holidays. So, all you folks out there, happy holidays. We're excited. Yeah, it was snowing here in New Jersey this week. We just got to wait another week, so we are 2 weeks. So we have a white Christmas. But yeah,
Yep, we're hoping for that too. We actually had snow on the ground yesterday, but it's actually almost 60 degrees here. It's not very common. I don't know if we're gonna hit a record, but we're about the only people who are okay with the global warming up here in Rochester because it gets a little cold up here in the winter and the
in
temps
Western
are
New
low.
York, that lake effect got stuck in my car a few times. It's pretty chilly over there. But yeah.
Yep. So just catching up on the COVID thing. Got to ask: are people back to work? Are they still working at home? How are you guys handling it in New Jersey?
Yeah, we're pretty much working remote. Joji is our CEO, as you know, is kind of his top priority is the health of the employees. So we looked a couple of times how to work remotely, and we're leveraging our technology to work from home. It's pretty it's good. Practice what you preach, right? Or eat what you cook. We're doing it, and it's successful. We're able to collaborate, and we're able to get the work done.
That's
So
awesome.
it's exciting.
Well, Joji's a great guy, great leader, obviously, and he just got recognized. I can't off the top of my head remember who, but he won a really nice award for CEO, and so congratulations to him and
Yeah,
to
in
you
the in the
guys.
Pennsylvania, yeah, in the Pennsylvania area, and the first thing he said when he got that award, and that's why, a noble guy, he said, "Listen, this isn't about me. It's about everyone in this company, what you've done." So he kind of brought us all together in an employee meeting. Instead of thanking him, he thanked us for enabling him to get that. So it's pretty good.
Well, what I love about him is he's not your typical CEO. Sometimes comes over and they sort of take a back seat. He's very front and center. He's dynamic. He, at the dealer meetings, like remember those dealer meetings we used to do, conferences? I think it's been about a year, but he's up
Yes.
on the stage and he's leading the meeting and the conference and kicking it off. And I always love that. He's got a lot of charisma. He's
Yeah.
definitely he's a fun guy to watch up there.
Yeah, no, and he's got his pulse on the business, understands what dealers needs, and he's brutally honest on where we're going and what the dealers need. He's created a great relationship with the dealers and Jim's team.
Well, brutally honest is something the dealers always need. That's not the only award. You guys have actually been on kind of a run here. You got a sustainability award. You got another
Yeah,
some recognition in Canada for legal. So good times for you guys. But year's closing
yeah,
up, and I just sort of wanted to catch up and maybe review. I'm gonna maybe do this with some of my the premium vendors out there, the big names out there,
sure.
and so how are things going with Ricoh and just the market in general? I mean we're closing in on 10 months into this thing.
Yeah, sure.
We're all still in business somehow. And what's it like out there? How have you seen your products sort of maybe change or become more important than you thought they would be just based on the current market conditions? Sort of, in your portfolio, what kinds of things are really popping up as these are, these were really good places to be and we're here and opportunities abound. So, why don't we go from
Yeah,
there?
I think it's interesting. Dealers always come up to us and ask us, we need something new. We need different solutions, and especially now more than ever. And I feel that we have technology. Obviously, we have industry leading engine technology, but now all the software and the cloud services and the content services with our Docuware acquisition, it's it's becoming more and more critical to connect the work to the office and so on. And we've had that technology, just kind of switching a priority on it in a focus. And we're seeing that there's dealers that initially, when this all started, probably in March, when we did the Convergex show last year, we had some adopters, and it was you had to work with them and train some dealers, but we've seen an acceleration now that we're pretty excited about. Looking at that new opportunity, looking to solve the customer problems that they have now. So it's pretty exciting.
So problems that they have now, right? I mean, a year ago, you weren't looking into a crystal ball saying, wow, we are going to be really well positioned when COVID hits and because of our cloud strategy. But bam, here we are, right? And now we're dealing with companies that have, a good amount of their workforce, in some cases, all of their workforce possibly working at home, right? So
Yep.
cloud plays into that, and security has become a huge issue, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, although I think we're going to start hearing it, because you're starting to just get the beginnings of some reports that are putting things out there. CoCirca just had a report that said
Yep.
64% of their respondents are reporting print-related breaches within the last 6 months. And
Yeah.
you look at that, and well, the reason for that is because everyone went home. The print infrastructure is gone. They're printing, and now they're vulnerable, right? And so they take that vulnerability back to the office or back to the network when they sign in. And so tell me, how are you positioned to deal with people working remotely or working in a...
Yeah, so, well, first of all, we did have the crystal, well, we didn't have this crystal ball, but if you remember on stage, we talked about workplace services, talked about remote printing, cloud services, and so on. So in some ways, a lot of that technology we've been talking about is now becoming more and more important. And what we're finding is, so what a lot of the work that we've done, and I think what's happening is, it's the biggest challenge we all have in the industry is predicting the future, right? It used to be pretty simple. We went to an industry analyst like yourself, we went to Gartner or someone and said, hey, what did we sell last year? You know what? We're going to grow a little. Well, what are we going to sell this year? Now it's like, well, wait a minute. The whole world changed. So we've spent a lot of time. We have a gentleman named Pete Bringe now as our Chief Customer Officer. He's been talking to our customers like you couldn't believe, focus groups, different segments, SMB, mid-market, enterprise, and learning what they're trying to do. Because we're leading customers with technology, but we also want to understand what their needs are. And we've kind of positioned it into a couple of key initiatives: a smart and safe workplace initiative, where everyone wants to bring people back to work someday, but it's got to be safe, right? A remote worker, like you just said, how do we connect the remote worker to the office worker, or more important, how do we connect the information? And I'll talk a little bit, RSI and some of the things we've done with the dealers are doing that really easily and enabling dealers to do that. Process automation. How are you processing invoices when people aren't in the office? Well, we have some real simple ways with DocuWare for dealers to enable that and offer easy ways to be more productive in or out of the office. And then obviously cloud and IT services, you said, is how do we give them the information to share? And what we're doing, and I think something Ricoh does uniquely, the huge direct customer base and the huge direct, machines we have in the field, we're able to gather that information, put together programs, ideas, solutions based on what we hear from our customers, and enable the dealers quicker than ever to attack that.
Well, so looking at that, the question that I wonder about is, you're planning. Obviously, we're all planning that this is going to go back to some level of where we were before, and it'll probably,
Yep.
A lot of people will stay remote. But in general, we're going to put this behind us. Business will be open. They'll stay open. We won't have to deal with a lot of the things we're dealing with at the moment. So how do you plan for that, where, well, the next 6 months or the next unknown period, we still have to do what we've been doing. We still have to provide you guys with products that you're going to need right now. And what kinds of products are those? Are we talking like packages? Are you doing, because you have A4.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of things going on.
You have DocuWare, all that, right?
Well, based on those, the kind of the 4 customer challenges that we're seeing now that we're learning from our customers, we have made all kinds of packages that we refer to as kind of business continuity packages.
Okay.
And what we find, especially in the dealers, right? If you think about the dealers and their customers, they have these 10, 15, 20-year relationships. Jim Caridi and I kind of joke around about that. The dealers are the 911 for their customers. They look to them to help them in their time of need and what's going on. So by packaging up different solutions and technologies together, hopefully it has print, but if it doesn't have to, that's okay too. And having them offer it to their customers. So it's kind of the customers are coming to the dealers, hey, how can you help me? And then based on what we learn from our customers, enabling dealers to provide that. So we see that. And we've had some of our dealers, we talk about RSI and the new annuity. We have dealers out there now that are just ramping up that have hundreds of subscriptions with RSI. you know, even at the basic at $20 a month, think about how many pages that offsets for their business.
Yeah.
So it's getting contagious. Hey, I got to try that. You know what? I could offset my annuity with some of this workflow. It's a great idea.
And,
So,
you know, you don't have the opportunity to be in front of your dealers right now. You know, I joked how we had a conference a year ago, and it was great. Obviously, Las Vegas is always fun, especially with you guys. But you know, you don't get road shows, you don't get face-to-face meetings. You guys are all, you know, kind of stuck at home, as are we. And so with these new programs, these new packages, these you know, new
yeah.
opportunities for dealers, how are you getting it in front of them? How are you getting their attention and helping them
First of
understand?
all, have you met Jim Caridi? We have more
Yes.
dealer meetings than ever before. It's actually, that's an interesting point. I don't know if you're seeing this. We're finding that customers and dealers, with what's going on in the pandemic, are actually more anxious to talk to people, more anxious to talk about their problems. And you mentioned Convergex before. If you remember when we did that, we kind of said, you know, Convergex isn't a once and done. And we've been having these Ricoh DNA meetings with the dealers that are ongoing. We pick topics like, what's the day in the life of a future salesperson? And we brainstorm on ideas, what kind of tools you have. Like you just said, who's coming to the office? What about dealer showrooms, right?
Yeah.
Do you invest in a showroom or you invest in video content? So we're working with the dealers to give them the content they need to approach the customer.
So
And,
content, training.
and even webinars or what else would you call it? Just thought leadership that we're now providing based on what we're learning from our customers. We're inviting dealers and their customers to our thought leadership. You know, why, you know, let's get the customers the information they need. Then the dealers can help them solve the problems that they're having now.
And it's all virtual now.
Yeah, it's all virtual. Yes.
It's a, you know, it's amazing that was all here all along. And you wonder, you know, down the
Yeah.
road, God, I hope they don't do away with conferences, but you wonder, you know, are they going to scale them back? Are they going to change them? Or they, you know, we already went as an industry for the most part from, you know, every year to, you know, in some cases every 18 months to 2 years now. Right. So do we spread them out more and just keep in touch with the Zoom? You know, I do feel like, especially in our industry, we're very social. And, you know, people like to be around each other. And you know, there's a reason a lot of these guys are selling
Yeah.
coffee because
Hey,
they drank too much and had too much fun in college, right?
we haven't taken a picture with what's happening hat lately, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I've got them rolling in. People are sending them masks. And I don't know, you should have a mask. I think I sent you one, didn't I? I think I sent one to your office. I think.
hope you didn't send it to Japan, right?
Oh, I hope I didn't send it there. Anyway,
Yeah.
so let's look forward. You know, let's look at
Yeah, sure.
next year. You know, we're right at the end of the year. We've got a new year coming up. It's still full of the unknown. We've got an assumption that, you know, hopefully by the end of the year we will be heading back towards normal. You know, hopefully the vaccine will work, or vaccines will work, and
Yeah, sure.
enough people will have them that, you know, the virus becomes less and less of an issue. But it's still an issue. It's still here. You know, it's actually way worse now than it's been, and it's just blowing up for the time being. That post, whatever you want to call it, Thanksgiving little surge that we're having. So, you know, what's going to happen for the next 6 months, 12 months? What's Ricoh going to do?
Yeah, so I think what we're focused on is, I think during the pandemic gave everyone an opportunity to kind of focus on building their future. You know, in some ways, if we think about all the training and all the knowledge that's been passed on this past 8 to 10 months, I think as things get back to a new reset, if you would, the technologies that we're all been gearing up to will start to take stronger hold with our customers. You know, I still think our core business will still be part of a core, but you know, if we start to transition from a product centric view to more of a platform centric view is kind of where I'm thinking this is going. And you might have technology that could start in an office but doesn't end in an office. You know, we have connections from our core MFP technology, well, to the cloud, as you know, to DocuWare. We're also, a lot of dealers have adopted our workplace communications products and our interactive flat panel displays. We have dealers that are actually on LinkedIn talking to their salespeople with flat panel displays and interacting with their sales force. So I think it's going to be a shift, but I still think core is going to be important to rely on and be kind of the hub. But then we're going to see more opportunities for different types of workflow all over the place, home, remote. We're not even sure where the new office might be, right? So I think there's going to be opportunities for everyone, especially dealers that have a manufacturer like Ricoh to back them up with some good technology.
So it's a nice reset for the industry, really. Going forward, what does Ricoh look like? You've been a production company for ages, especially with the InfoPrint acquisition that you made several years ago. The cloud was a huge investment that you made,
Sure.
and really, your coming out party was about a year ago. Unfortunately, you had your legs under you when this whole mess hit us. So you're off and going, and your dealers are a continually evolving group of resellers.
Sure.
Where's Ricoh going to be in 5 years, 10 years? Are we still going to be a technology company, or are we going to be, what are we
Yeah,
going to
of course. Yeah, we'll be a technology company, transforming to providing services to our customers. But in that same point is connecting the core business, to a digital services portfolio, if you would. So where you rely on core business now, there's going to be less reliance on that and more reliance on content, workflow, what customers are doing, wherever they're doing it. So it's turning that information into digital information that can be usable, I guess, is where I see us.
Certainly that makes you flexible, right? When you've got
Yeah.
the ability to say, okay, well, we kind of envision, this system, this ecosystem for your typical office with, a marketing department and a sales department and
Yeah.
on, and suddenly you've got people all over the city or all over the world, and in some ways, your investments that you made really allow you to support that. So it should be interesting to watch going forward, other companies out there in this space and the things that they're doing, but certainly the boards, the collaboration that you've been working on for years,
Sure.
and then you take that into the workflow, and it's just an exciting time. Maybe some things are speeding up a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's looking at the office differently too. We looked at print and outward. Now we're looking at workflow and customer requirements where print becomes a part of that, but not the entry point, if you would,
Yeah,
moving forward.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we know in this industry, and I think most of the companies that are, showing some level of success, they're diversifying. They're looking
Sure.
at things to offset the slow demise, or, print is going to slow down over the years, and you've got to offset that with something else. And, companies like you are giving these guys, plenty of other things to sell. And this channel has been here over 90 years, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
we'll be here hopefully, God willing, another 90 years, and you and I can, we'll still be hopefully doing these interviews and talking about what.
Yeah, in 90 years.
But it's an exciting time. I think this virus has definitely sped some things up and pushed people in different directions. But this is a community full of entrepreneurs, and these businesses, most of which are extremely successful, multi-million dollars, some in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And that's because
Sure.
these companies have looked at, what do customers need? How can I help them? And how can, we make some money doing it, right? Which is fair. And, it's just, you've got good dealers, you've got some big dealers, and with money to invest. And they're, fortunately, these guys are already in many cases in managed services, right? They're already very familiar with IoT. You bring them cloud and security and all those things to go along with it. So it's a winning combination, I think. It really sounds like.
No, I do too. And then for the dealers that are getting up to speed, mid-market dealers or small dealers, Ricoh has the capability to get those folks up to speed as well, with our teams and our training and getting them ready to go and the support. We're hoping to bring the whole level up of the Ricoh dealer community to be able to provide their customers all these different offerings.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys are definitely, you're one of the leaders. You're definitely one of the elite vendors in the industry, and you don't need me to tell you that. So, but it's always great to catch up with you. You and Jim, two of the guys I've known there probably as long as I've known anybody at Ricoh. I'm not going to say how long because neither of us look like
we don't need that.
But we've been there. We've known each other a while, so it's always great to catch up with you, Steve. I'm glad to see you're safe, and hear everyone at Ricoh sounds like they're doing okay for the moment. So, stay safe. And any last shout outs?
No, I would just say to everyone who might watch this, happy and safe holidays. Enjoy your family, and hopefully next year will be somewhat different, but we'll all be successful next year. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Steve, great seeing you. Happy holidays to you and everyone at Ricoh, and all the Ricoh dealers and anyone else watching this. Thank you, and we will catch up down the road. Take care.
All right. Thanks.